Hi, I'm Uncle D, and I make 30-minute meals. Sometimes, anyway. In this video, I'm going to be making a Mexican beef and rice skillet, an easy and quick one-pot meal, and I'm going to be serving that up with Baja Corn on the side. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell to be notified when there's new videos. Comments welcome. Thank you. Here's a quick list of ingredients, or you can check out the description below. I'm going to start off by prepping the onion here. The recipe calls for 1 medium onion, but I have half of this very large onion that I used in a previous meal, so I'm going to dice that up. Should be enough onion. Next up, I'm going to measure out the rice. 3/4 cups of a long grain white rice. Probably any white rice would work fine. And I'm just going to rinse that pretty well here. Rinse it until the water pours off clear. And then just drain it. So we'll get that ready for when we need it later. Alright, going with our hamburger. We just need to brown this up. I like to break it up probably medium pieces here. Not too small, not too big. That's up to your preference though. A little salt and pepper. It's always good to season the meat here in the beginning. It gets a little deeper flavor later on, and instead of just salting it at the end. And once our meat is pretty well browned, come in with our onions. And we just want to cook these till they're kind of translucent, till they soften up a bit. Alright, now we're going to add some garlic. A couple of teaspoons of minced garlic, which is equal to a couple of cloves garlic. If you wanted to chop that up. Alright. So the onions are pretty good now. So, taco seasoning. Lately I've been using this Cholula. I like this. It's a little different than the other ones, I think anyway. But use whatever your favorite taco seasoning is. 1 package or about 4 tablespoons if you buy it in bulk. 1 can of Rotel tomatoes with chilies, or whatever brand you like, of course. And you could just use a can of diced tomatoes and a can of diced chilies. That would be good too. The Rotel ones are easy. So there's 1 can of black beans that I drained and rinsed, and then 1 cup of frozen corn, or you can use canned corn. And there's the rice I rinsed off earlier. So basically we're just throwing everything in here now. That all mixed up nicely. Okay, now I've got 2 cups of my homemade broth. This is a chicken broth. You can just use like 1 can of like low sodium chicken broth, or a couple of cups out of a quart. Some salt, and of course you can salt to taste. Stir that up a little bit. Now we bring it up to a boil. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put the cover on. I'm just going to stir it a little bit here now that it's up to a boil. Now let's put the cover on, turn it down to simmer. And we're going to simmer that for 15 minutes. Or until the rice is done, whichever. Meanwhile, I'm going to work on the toppings. And mostly the only thing I'm going to cut up here, I'm going to do an avocado. But I already have some diced onions and some tomatoes, and then I'm going to have salsa and some more shredded cheese. There's going to be shredded cheese on the top, but I'll have some more set out for you can put it on after, on your plate. On these avocados, I like to just cut them with a butter knife instead of a regular, sharp knife, because it's very easy to cut through that skin and right into your hand. The butter knife cuts the avocado just fine, but won't cut your hand. I like to cut them into a little container like this so I can seal it up so it doesn't turn brown so fast. Now I'm going to do the vegetable I'm serving with this, and I'm using this Baja Corn mix, just frozen corn with peppers and some beans in it. It's pretty good, but you could do just anything you like first. And I'm just going to microwave that about halfway through, and then I'll put in the butter. And then I'm going to season this with some Mrs. Dash, but also just salt and pepper is perfect. I'm on a low sodium diet, so I've been using this Mrs. Dash a lot more. Then this will go back into the microwave for the rest of the time. Alright, 15 minutes is up. So we'll just stir this around a little bit, and we'll check the rice and see if it's cooked. It looks like it's done. We'll give it a taste here. And you don't have to worry about stirring it. Normally with rice you don't want to stir it until it is done. Or in this case it wouldn't matter because we got all that other stuff in there. It's not going to get sticky. So but it's perfectly done. So good to go here. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to cover the top with a couple of cups of a Mexican blend shredded cheese. Or you could just use cheddar, mozzarella mix, Colby, whatever you got. Lots of cheese though. Alright, so the corn is cooked now. Just gonna stir that up good. We'll put the lid on to keep it warm again till we're ready to eat. Okay, now we just put the lid on there, I forgot to say, but to melt the cheese. So just for a few minutes. Just put the lid back on after you put the cheese on. Melt it with the burner off. It'll just sit there and remain warm. Here we go. It smells so good right now. It smells like Mexican food. Alright, so here we have our little mini buffet. Our Mexican beef and rice skillet, covered with melted cheese. Our Baja corn, and then all the toppings. Got sour cream, salsa, tomatoes, onions, hot sauce, cilantro, diced jalapenos, chips to sprinkle on top. There we go. Super easy to make. Very filling, very comforting. I'm definitely going to get me a big helping of it here. Get ourselves some corn. I'm sure some of you are thinking, well, there's already corn in that dish, but there's not very much corn in there. We need an actual, serving of vegetables with our meal, so we'll have some more. And what's more Mexican than corn? Corn and black beans, and peppers. Alright, let's give it a taste. And I'll tell you, it is really good, even without the toppings on it. There I've got my toppings. Avocado and tomatoes and salsa and sour cream on the side. Cilantro, hot sauce, everything. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, please like, subscribe, and click that notification bell to be notified when new videos become available.